The following is a clip from a live episode of NYY Recaps. Enjoy. All right, let's talk about the Yankees because I feel like there's some positives. You know, we've won 5 straight. You know, despite the golden sombrero today, Judge had an outstanding road trip. He went crazy in Boston, hit a couple of more home runs. We get a day off now, and then we got a 9-game homestand. It would be nice to see him kind of go crazy at Yankee Stadium. I mentioned Stanton looked good today. 4 balls barreled up over 110 miles an hour. He had 2 hits. Austin Wells has broken out. We talked about him. I'm looking forward to, you know, he got today off and then he's getting tomorrow off because it's an off day. So I'm looking forward to a well-rested Austin Wells taking over at Yankee Stadium. He could do some damage the way he's swinging the bat. Volpe bounced back nicely. He's off to a good start in the second half. Something I want to ask you about Volpe. Is it out of line for me to just say he needs more days off? Because it looked like the whole back end of the first half he was dragging, even though he was playing every single day. And then we get the All-Star break, and he comes out of the gate strong. So, like, maybe he's just worn out. He plays shortstop, which is a very tough position. He's always sliding. He's always diving. He's always hustling, taking extra bases. He's involved in, like, every rally. Maybe you just need to give him a day off every few weeks and keep him fresh.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how it goes with a lot of baseball players. I mean, it was the dog days of summer, but I have noticed that, you know, coming out of the second half, he has been swinging the bat a lot harder. I did see something somewhere about him having better bat speed, and he's pulling the ball in the air a lot more instead of, you know, the weak contact that he was always going for, just trying to beat out ground balls or something.
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously trying to do a little bit more damage. Like you said in our podcast last week, he needs to make hard contact, not just make contact. So good to see that kicking back into gear. Verdugo's been better. I think that's a nice positive going home. He's been finding the gap. You find the gap at Yankee Stadium. It's extra bases every single time. Jazz Chisholm has been terrific. I'm looking forward to the reception that Chisholm gets in his first Yankees at bat. You think he's going to get a standing ovation after this little road trip? I think he might. I think he might.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know about standing ovation.
I think he might, man. I think he earned it. I think we should do it. Let's hear it in the chat. Standing O, standing O,
standing O. I'd love to see that. The bleacher creatures for sure are gonna love Jazz Chisholm, I think.
Yeah, we got the Martian coming back possibly soon. He's back in AAA. DJ LeMahieu had his best game of the season today. Luis Heels rediscovered his slider, or discovered a new grip for his slider, and that's kind of transformed him back into that ace level pitcher that he was for the first half. He had that little like short period where he just stunk up the joint, and now he's back to being basically dominant again. So really good. Carlos Rodon, 2 really good starts in a row. Garrett Cole got a day off. Hopefully he comes back strong in his next start. Aiden, are we finally allowed to feel good about this team for once?
I say this cautiously, but I think so. It's crazy to think about how much the vibes have changed in just a week. But like we said on the StatCast report about a week ago now, that the Yankees were getting a little bit unlucky. They were underperforming their expected stats, and this just looks like a different team out of the second half. I think, since that second game in Boston and acquiring Jazz Chisholm, it feels like a shot of adrenaline has just gone in every player's system, and everyone's pumped up to play and pumped up to make comebacks, put on, insurance runs. And what's good is that the schedule in August is pretty easy. Like, there's a lot of teams in there that you enter that series and you say, you have to win this series. Like, you should win this series, and you could even look to sweep that series. So, easy schedule in August. The return of Stanton is obviously huge. You have Dominguez on the horizon, Clark Schmidt, John Berti, Nick Berti, and Scott Efros. As long as the team is healthy and has a spot in October, they could make a run, I think.
I want to throw something at you. Let's say John Berti comes back, gets a couple of games in, and he's back to being the guy he was before he got hurt that first time, where he's hitting line drives, he's stealing bases, he's picking it over at third. Does Jazz Chisholm become your second baseman and Gleyber Torres go to the bench? Because Gleyber had another tough day defensively today. He's going to be a free agent. There's no reason to make him happy. Fuck him. He's not playing good defense.
Yeah, I mean, he is definitely a defensive liability. We can say that Gleyber has been swinging the bat pretty well in the month of July and maybe even since June. But, he is that defensive liability. He hasn't been great at second base this year. But I'm not sure they'll, completely sit down Torres, but I think they want to get Berti in for a lot of reps. You want to ramp him back up and have him possibly ready for October. And, I think he's most definitely going to be, a defensive replacement guy, like late in games and playoff games. Cause you don't want Gleyber Torres out there in the 8th or 9th inning.
Yeah. I could see that where he goes to third base, Jazz goes to second, and Gleyber goes to the showers. That's kind of how I envision it. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It helps other fans find the channel. NYY Recaps is also available on all your favorite podcast platforms, and we'll see you next time.